definitely a bunch about the technology. A little, I want to sort of like circle back just quickly and ask that very, very basic question that people used to ask about VR and 360, but why 360 underwater? Like what is that value of the seeing in all directions underwater? And I know that this seems like a question from like multiple years ago, but I just want to make sure that we hit home with this particular one.
Yeah, I mean, from a storytelling perspective, you feel like you're diving if you have a headset and you have the right type of camera and image quality. I have put a number of headsets on, seeing some of my content, people are holding their breath because they've never been diving, they've never experienced what it is to be.
My first 360 video I ever watched was actually an Antarctic underwater one.
Oh, was it
Uh, oh, I mean the
maybe the
second
David
one,
Attenborough one?
yeah, it was so, and then the second one was in a prison, and it was the prison one that actually convinced me to switch careers. I don't know what that says about me, but those are the only two that I watched. And so right when I heard that I would be talking to you, I was like, I remember that one. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, the access to experience is inspiring, right? And we want to drive people to change, to have empathy, to choose a career around the ocean that, and they may see the ocean in a different way by being in it, which, a headset offers a low cost, risk-free way to do that. From an industrial perspective, and just from a sheer dollars and cents, most robots only have one perspective, and it's the front. They don't see the sides, they don't see the back. They may need to strafe a wall, they may need to see below them, they may need to capture more data at an accelerated rate through a space so they don't have to make multiple trips. And just more sensors at the end of the day are better. It's not even an argument. It just comes down to cost and payload and other factors. But if you give the option of giving someone a full 360 view or just one view, everyone's going to choose 360.
It reminds me sort of
Yeah.
like sharks just looking ahead and keep on moving ahead, and they're missing everything. They're kind of missing everything else, and like they're good, but they're not. It's not human based advanced technology. There's the difference. So what is the next step if you're predicting going into the future, looking into the future? What should people be expecting to come, since you know this back and forth? So what's next, Casey?
Oh man. So the robotics industry in all domains is fragmented, and there's a lot of cost that goes into building, a specific robot, and not a lot of transferability between intelligence or sensors or capabilities. And so one of them is just having more universal intelligence like ChatGPT or controls so that you can build, lower cost robots that have the same performance in different environments and with different form factors. And I think VideoRay does that quite well. We have something called the mission specialist, which is the concept of modularity and universality in our components, that we can reconfigure them to create different types of vehicles. And so we have a whole product line where right now we have the Defender and we have the Ally, and then a product roadmap for other types of vehicles. So I think that one is just having more horizontal kind of transferability and less fragmentation around different types of robots. The other one is better teleoperation, hands-free control. It's just hard. It takes a lot of training, and it's not something that everyone has the competency to do. And you would rather, instead of having your hands on the controls, you'd rather talk to it like a human, and rather have a conversation and let it make some of the more complex decisions while you're, what, quote unquote, supervising it or in the loop. Neural nets, GPUs, this type of like edge intelligence is really exciting, and certainly something that we're working on. But if autonomy is 20 years out, if full autonomy, tetherless autonomy is 20 years or more out, we do need to improve the teleoperation and remote operation experience. We do need to have better pilots in the loop that don't have to be on ships, that can stay at home, that can be paid well, but don't have to be away from their families. And I think you see companies like, Ocean Infinity and Oceaneering and others that are, trying to solve for that, where there's just less people that are gone for 3 to 6 months at a time. And so being able to tie in human experts, to complicated jobs where they can be more accessible across, different projects at the same time is where we see this going. But I'm just mostly excited for robots behaving more like humans, and being able to interact with them, and not having them be dumb, but just really smart.
Me too. I'm sort of excited about that kind of conversational interaction. So, Casey, if people want to know more about your company, where should they go?
I try to stay active on LinkedIn. I love the community that's been built there. I think the defense community is quite active, and obviously the startup community. And you can learn more about VideoRay at videoray.com. And I think that if you're interested in this topic, then I won't get tired of talking about it. And I'd love to, continue these conversations on the side for anyone who wants them.
Great. Thank you so much for coming to the Internet of Senses podcast site. And thank you everyone for listening or watching. This has been a great conversation. Hopefully everybody's learned a little bit more about seeing underwater. So thank you, Casey.
Samantha, it was a treat. Thank you for the time, and really glad we've gotten to meet and talk to you soon.